Welcome back to Mega Man X8. It's time for the end.
I'm picking up multiple Maverick signals on the moon's surface. What is this?
I think it's Sigma.
There's Sigmas on the moon. They carry a harpoon.
It's him.
So you're saying that other was a copy?
Yeah, he was very clearly a copy guy.
This is it. Sigma, I'm coming for you.
I'm gonna get your ass, Sigma.
Let's move out.
There's no X9 for you to come back in. Alright, so Sigma Palace defeat Sigma, the cause of this whole situation. This darn situation that Sigma's made, it's just so frustrating. You really hate to see it. Alright, so we're gonna take Alia in, but that's really only to get an Alia point, though I think Layer's probably who I unlocked. I've actually forgotten. / didn't particularly pay attention. But yeah, it doesn't really matter who you bring because...
Alia, can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah, we're getting blocked. Damn it, Sigma's got some tech set up here. Alright, so, the moon surface. Right, so, good news is, since we've done the boss rush in the previous stage, that means we don't have to deal with it here. We're done with the boss refights. Which is good, because quite frankly, Sigma Palace is very nearly a King Castle fuck you situation. It absolutely would have been if you had to deal with the boss refights on top of this, but no! They got rid of those already, and for that I'm thankful. We're also finally going to see the exact one reason I chose to play hard mode instead of normal mode. Alright, as soon as I pick those up, of course, we've got to pick up medals for the... nothing I'm going to use them for. Oh hey, ride armor. Well, let's jump into it before somebody... darn it. Hello, Vile.
So, you still refuse to give up your struggle, huh? Are you so blind that you've somehow convinced yourself that hope remains?
If all I have to do is defeat you, then I'm full of hope, Buster.
Buster,
I
Jesus.
suppose it'd be a waste to just destroy you now. Maybe I'll wait till the last possible moment and have a little fun with this.
Of course, Zero's opening line is also very good.
So, you still refuse to give up your struggle, huh? Are you so blind that you've somehow convinced yourself that hope remains?
Struggle? I'm just tired of running into you and Sigma every time I turn around.
I suppose it'd be...
I just adore how done he is with Sigma and Vile. Right, so, this one isn't too bad, despite him swooping into me. I swear this isn't that hard. I'm just not doing well. But basically, he has a ride armor. Again, we don't need to explode in order to knock him out of it. However, it is mostly immortal. What you need to do is shield break Vile so that he's kicked out of the mech, and then do damage to him until this fight's over. Unfortunately, since he's a mini-boss again, that means we can't see his HP, so I'm kind of just throwing this double attack out here, because I kind of really need to. You'll see why soon, but you probably want to use that sooner rather than later. If you're in a situation similar to mine. Man, this was not a good run. I feel like I could have done better, but with the rest of the stage, I can't really blame myself for having a sloppy version of the Vile fight. Look, the rest of this also has to go well. Let me tell you, it extremely didn't a lot. Bosses in this one are, quite frankly, the big part of this. The stage can be a bit of a problem too, but mostly the bosses. Alright, there we go. He fell to the ground and exploded. Alright, so we are good. Vile's dead, for real this time.
Finally showed him who's boss. Time to take on Sigma.
He's probably not through this door. Anyway, it's hard mode, so guess what? Whoever you weren't just playing as... how did you hide?
Axel!
Yeah, so your backup character is no longer available. Whoever was in front at the end of the Vile fight now has to finish the fight alone. So, yeah, this is, the exact, precise reason I took, hard mode. That's really just it. Other than the stat changes, it is one extra scene where your secondary gets fucking murked by Vile of all people after you blow him up, and he just, I don't know, hides his atoms or something? It was a small room, and he was in a very large robot. But, yeah, no, Axel's just fucking dead now, and this only happened because I'm on hard mode. I will admit it's kind of a neat idea, and if I weren't frustrated with most of the stage, then I think that would be pretty cool. Of course, you'd think that would mean, like, oh, it's a huge risk, because, you know, now if your health bar goes down to 0, now you die instead of getting to switch over to another character, and hopefully the other character recovers. Well, you saw those spikes back there, right? This is a very spike-heavy stage. So honestly, it doesn't matter that much. I don't remember if I ever mentioned that, but, you will continue on in most cases, if you run out of HP. Things like spikes or, bottomless pits, will just kill you anyway. There's no switching over to another character. Also, yeah, don't just go jumping haphazardly, or you die. But, yeah, so, really, this section just kills you instantly anyway. Like, yeah, we've got Sigma clones as regular-ass enemies now, sure, but they're not really a huge deal. Heck, some of them barely even attack you, because, like, they just wait around to try and hit you with a sword attack. I think this guy waits with a sword. Yeah, he clearly shows you what he's going to do, and then he stands there so he doesn't do it. Anyway, I believe this area has a bit of a reputation amongst Mega Man X fans. I don't think it's that difficult, but I feel like I've seen people refer to this as the room. But with X's moveset, honestly, it's really not a big deal. Though, to be fair, I am in the armor with the better jump, so I guess that is definitely a factor that I need to remember. But I also don't think it's that bad. I think Zero is also pretty good at it, and I would imagine Axel's float is decent too. But yeah, no, the room is pretty much our biggest obstacle up until we arrive in this fancy room. Gee, with a setup like this, you know it's the end. They wouldn't make it this fancy if it were just the midpoints.
Warning.
And there he is. It's Sigma.
Welcome.
He's made out of garbage this time.
It's good to see you again, X. Our meeting was fated, X. Our destinies come to a head right here, right now.
I do appreciate that he just has this weird battle body.
You, X, are an essential part of it.
It's just this weird moon armor that he's got. Man, X has been saying ellipses so much here.
Justice is what first got me thinking.
That I should blow up Dr. Kane with a missile. Though honestly, I don't remember if that happened. I think he lived in the second game, right?
It's too late, X. The gears are in motion. There's no turning back now. My children were the ones, X. The new generation Reploids were the ones.
They're my babies.
Children are responsible for the development of space, mankind's lifeline.
I'm proud of them.
What are you talking about?
They all got A's in math,
The
X.
program that gave birth to the new generation Reploids. It was all my doing.
It was me. It was me all along, X.
Belongs to me.
Ah, shit.
Now, X, you will be destroyed along with the rest of this decayed world.
So, say hello to Sigma. That's a long health bar, huh? Yeah, this is the hardest fight in the game, hands down. So, those rings can be jumped through, you can dash through them. Because they're rings, you can go through them. But I have such a poor record with actually doing that I just don't. I try to go over them. I've got X's fancy high jump, so whatever, I don't have to care about this. Axel and Zero are, you know, different cases. Axel's probably your best bet to get through those well, actually, no, I'm bad at that too.
And hopelessness.
I've got your head!
The plan to destroy the world you so love is finally coming to fruition. I shed no tears for you and your kind.
You get a fancy moon body and suddenly you think you're not our kind anymore.
Even if you were behind the Jacob Project, I won't give up until I've put a stop to your evil scheme!
What's happening here? It's Axel, here to save the day.
I'm here.
So yeah, obviously,
The gang's all here,
if
guys.
you're not playing hard
Well
mode,
then,
you just fight
let's go
Sigma.
mop the floor with that evil scum.
What's this? Your friends arrived, eh?
Zero's over there too? In the distance?
Powerless in
With
the
a cup of
face
coffee?
the ruler of the new world.
He's waving! But he's on break, so it's still you two I'm fighting, right? Okay, cool.
So yeah, if you're playing normal mode or easy mode, the fight just happens. And yeah, you don't get the bit where you're rescued by your partner character who is fully healed, which is nice. So here's the part of the fight that's well, not this part I don't think. He hasn't yet hit his desperation phase, but he can set the wall on fire, which does suck. This can be a little unpredictable at times. Okay, there we go, desperation phase. Now he's got a charge attack. You need to hit him with a break attack. That big combo of his, I think he only does that once. You do not want him to fully charge, because if he does, he will just hit you with a screen-wide attack. It's not instant kill or anything, but it does hurt a lot, and again, it's undodgeable. So yeah, if you start seeing armor, switch to whatever character breaks armor better. And God, speaking of breaking, God am I glad X does not flinch when he gets hit with this armor. So Sigma's one of those characters who I feel like isn't that much easier with his weakness. And besides, I want to mostly be using Axel anyway, so that I can actually break his shield, so he doesn't hit me. And yeah, the way he charges, when you are desperate enough to try to prevent him from using his charge attack, that's how he gets you with basically any attack, because you're probably going to make a mistake and get hit, because otherwise he hits you. It sucks. By the way, when you complete the game, one of the things in New Game Plus is actually Sigma's weapon. It's Zero's best weapon, and it is very good. Alright, well, that looks like it's it. Except for one thing. This is actually a different cutscene that plays from easy mode.
Oh, Lumine.
If you're playing easy mode, Sigma's the final boss. So yes, I lied. There is one more difference. Though that's only if you're playing easy mode. This will also happen in normal mode. And as it turns out, Sigma was actually the one being used all along.
Weren't you just used by Sigma?
Used?
Nuh-uh.
I don't think so.
I'm way cooler than Sigma.
He merely helped my plan along.
I'm actually the new villain now.
The new
Once we hit Mega Man X9, it doesn't matter if I die in this one, I'll be back. As long as you're playing normal mode, welcome to the true final boss. It's Lumine. And he's got the Chaos Emeralds, but like specifically from one of the earlier Sonic spin-offs where they didn't care about the number of Chaos Emeralds that actually existed. So there are 8, and they are based on the colors assigned to the bosses that we saw from their teleportation pods in the previous stage. And that's how you tell what desperation attack Lumine will use. And yeah, no, that is this whole gimmick for this fight, is he's gonna use all of the desperation attacks. So, since we know what this looks like, I will just talk about Lumine himself. So yeah, there's actually a twist villain that you might have seen coming, but given the series' track record, you might have just assumed it was gonna be Sigma for the entire thing, because usually it is. But it is important to note that, of course, Lumine is Latin for light, so yes, the etymology on his name is also light, same as it is for Lucifer. So yes, we have just the straightforward analogy for Lucifer here. It's Lumine. Remember when Lucifer used the Chaos Emeralds to trick Adam and Eve? Lucifer chuckled, "You mean the Chaos Emeralds?" So yeah, I guess he's striking against humanity, which is the god in this situation. He's the fallen angel, even though that... I mean, God's kind of separate from angels, right? So, like, you know, the Reploids were the creations of the humans, so they're the angels, but he's not an angel anymore. He's above all that, on account of his fancy new attacks. The only other option is that Reploids are God, and I don't think that's the case. X is not God. Probably.
Lumine! What are you doing?
Stop
Tell me
hovering!
you've gone Maverick too.
Maverick? You don't
Yeah,
really
technically
think that's
speaking,
the case,
maybe
do you?
Zero's
That's why
God.
you can't finish me off,
Or
right?
Jesus, at least.
You
He's
don't
come back
think.
from the dead. Just like
Copies
Jesus,
that
he
some
hit
new
himself while he
generation
repaired
Reploids
himself.
possess? They were derived from data from hundreds of old model Reploids. That means, of course, that Sigma was also included in the
Now,
mix.
granted, I don't think they shortened
Do
the
you
time
understand what I'm
between
getting at
X5 and 6 to 3 days.
Copy chip?
So it's a little, that's a little
Having that
different.
all go nuts like he did?
Sorry, but prototypes like you don't have the specs to cause something like that.
Prototypes suck,
Besides,
actually.
is Sigma really
You're
crazy?
garbage. You suck. No salvation for you, idiot.
He rebelled against your world, but he had his reasons.
I like
The rest of
rebellion
us
on
new
account of
Reploids
being
could
Satan
turn
and
like
all.
that at any moment. This decision to wage battle against the old world was made consciously.
We didn't go mad. We wanted to do this. This is cool, actually.
In other words, we possess the power to go maverick at will.
So I think nowadays I get what they're going for here. But going maverick at will is
Do you
such
really
a
have what it
weird
takes to
phrase
stop
to use.
You're merely tools of the humans.
No TV and no beer make Lumine go something
You think you can
something.
stand up to those
Go
of us
Maverick?
who have evolved
Don't
from
mind if I
far?
do.
The world is changing. Therefore, it's only natural that
Hey, check this out.
evolution take
Ooh, look
its
at this.
course.
I grasped the world.
Now
Not
line
literally,
up to
but you
be
know.
exterminated.
It was a symbolic gesture. Ow! You motherfucker shooting my shoulder. Who do you think you are?
Get to you, X. He's the enemy.
He keeps saying stupid things and I don't care. Let's shoot him.
This issue isn't so black and white.
It kinda is when you keep saying we're going to remove all the old stuff.
Irrevocably changed.
I feel like you should at least expect them to not want to
The
die.
nature of their existence has also changed. You are not needed in our new world.
So you can't do that whole enemy ally thing. Like, no.
Babble all you want. But we're not gonna let you get away with this.
We don't like you and we don't want you to kill us. Get his ass. Okay, so, I did say that Sigma was the hardest boss in the game, and I stand by that. This kinda sucks too, though. So, Lumine's second form, because Capcom just really liked their angelic final bosses during this period. Lumine's Seraph form, they just decided to make this one a bullet hell. I think I managed to do this take without using a sub-tank, and I don't know how. Of course, in addition to being a bullet hell, this one also just has barriers because of course it does. Because that's kind of just the end game here. Just a whole lot of characters with barriers. Also, yeah, I'm absolutely using Giga Crash, are you kidding me? But yeah, no, this right here is just a straight-up bullet hell attack. He sends out shots and then recalls them, and you have to jump in between them. It's really kind of a pain. Oh, we're at desperation. Well, no, this isn't desperation phase, this is just second phase. This is flame body. So that just means tougher attacks. So I think X is going to be the character you want for most of this fight. Because this armor especially is very useful since you won't flinch, and you won't take as much damage. But either Zero or Axel are your answers to the whole barrier situation. So definitely don't let them die in this fight, because I'm gonna be honest, if you let a character die, you're kinda screwed. So make sure to use your healing items wisely. God, that dodge sucked ass.
Let's switch. Here I come.
Oh, please. I think the barrier also gets stronger every time, because of course it does.
Leave it to me.
So I will say that the kind of nice thing about this one is it does sort of end a little quicker than Sigma's does. At least it feels like it. However, here's the annoying part. Hey, that's the name of the game. Right, so here's the real desperation phase. So the sides of the screen are going to start to darken, and he's going to put a barrier around himself. You need to destroy it 3 times in a row, then you get free reign over shooting him in the face. If the sides darken around you completely after a certain amount of time passes, you just die. So you have to do all of the damage before you're just one hit killed. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks a lot. Hey, Lumine, get dunked on. Hey, Lumine, there's no X9. You didn't get to usurp the series villain for long. Alright, and that takes care of that.
Unbelievable.
My spine!
You may
Oh
have
god!
defeated me,
Get me a
but it's too late to
chiropractor.
stop what's already begun.
I'll take on plenty more like you if that's what it takes.
You really don't have a grasp of the situation, do you?
Am I too high concept for
You'll
you?
find out soon
I
enough.
bet I am, I'm so smart.
And X ellipses again. Alright, well, Lumine seems to be dead and breaking, so... Alright, let's go, everybody. Let's leave... What were you... Oh, what? Axel, why are you doing that? I want to poke him! Ah, darn it, Axel got treed. Tree like the tree of knowledge. Were you about to kiss him?
Axel.
Ah, jeez. I hope he didn't just get hit with the fruit of knowledge.
X! Status report.
This is X. Axel
Realized he was naked.
has taken damage, but he's fine.
Now he bears the responsibility of sin. This sucks. So once again, there are 3 endings depending on who you kill the final boss with. As long as you're not on easy mode. If you're on easy mode, Lumine just walks in behind everybody. Looks kinda ominous, and then the game ends. So I guess you kinda just have to assume he kills everybody.
Awakening. That's how Lumine described it. He said this was evolution. If he's right, then what are we doing?
What were we, the angels, and not God, probably. Except maybe Zero. Zero might be Jesus, I don't know.
I bet you've been thinking about what Lumine was saying a while ago.
Yeah, I bet you were, because you're a nerd like that.
Just becoming Sigma could hardly be called evolution.
Actually, hold on a sec, if Zero's Jesus, does that mean we've been playing as the Holy Trinity all along? Maybe X is God.
Anyway, X. Even if we Reploids are destined to join the scrap heap when that evolutionary step does come about, we still have to fight, not only against Mavericks, but against our own destiny as well.
I mean, that's a cool speech and all, Zero, but I kinda preferred it when Shadow said it. He is a bit more succinct. Alright, I'm back to the corner so I can fold my arms. Alright, so that is Mega Man X8. I feel like X8 is overall a very solid game. I enjoyed it. Except when I didn't. When I didn't, I very much didn't. There are just certain portions of the game that are a bit of a pain to deal with. I didn't like the ride chaser stages, and oh god, the final level. I hate fighting Sigma so much, and Lumine is a pain too. I don't like the bullet hell, and I don't like his one-hit kill desperation attack, but oh, Sigma took me so long just getting a good enough pattern to survive. Again, he can trip you up so easily, just because he's always trying to charge and hit you with a bigger attack, but then he'll just get you with a smaller attack, so I feel like X8 is sort of a representation of the X series as a whole, you know? It's got some pretty good highs. The highs are things that I really appreciate and like. But god, the lows are pretty miserable. And now granted, the rest of the series actually turned out mostly pretty alright. Thanks to the hacks I used. Really, the worst it's been kinda wound up being boring with X6. Just kinda boring and crummy. But I still think X8 it very much represents all of that in its own special way. It is actually a pretty solid game, and, you know, absolutely better than X7, even when X7, you know, has the hack applied to it. I feel like this just had a very strong base added to it. I just think it's, you know, at its core, a very fun game to play. And I feel like most of the stages did get a pretty good job of having gimmicks that let you play just with the mechanics as they are, with just a little bit of extra icing on top, but when they go for certain gimmicks, again, ride chasers, they kinda wind up being really, really bad. I'm not too fond of Optic Sunflower either, but at least I'm not on a ride chaser for that one. But yeah, no, solid core game. I'm gonna talk more about story because we're coming up on, well, this is the last platforming game in the X series, so I'm gonna be giving my series-wide thoughts soon, so I'll save story for that because, you know, I think there's actually a decent amount to talk about in this game, but most of it is just crammed into the ending, so I don't really have time to discuss it, just in the credits. Because I haven't really been able to mention much of anything before the end of the game, mainly because of Lumine and the fact that he's actually the main villain. I'll talk more about that later. And I guess X-Zero and Axel being the Holy Trinity or whatever. You know, when you really fuck up the metaphor and go down that direction. But yeah, no, other than that, music's okay. It's a little bit butt rocky, right? It's fine, but I also have forgotten most of it already. We also get a bit of an epilogue here. And you might have also noticed that we only had 2 endings. I mean, you might not have noticed, but there were 3 distinct scenes there, but one of them was Zero, one of them was X, and one of them is the thing that always happens, which is Zero giving X a pep talk. But, oh darn, copy chips resumed production. Have we learned nothing? I guess not. Well, that's kind of a depressing note to end on. Cause, boy. Reploids can't even live in harmony amongst each other anymore. Sorry, Lights. Anyway, this is Axel's ending. He did actually get successfully treed. Lumine left something in him. There's a seed metaphor there. But what that will actually lead to, we'll never know. I've said it so many times, but there is no X9. This is the end of the platformers. So I'll see you next time for the series debrief.
Capcom.
With these three. Or, I'm gonna be honest, probably two. Maybe I'll just only play as Alya and Lair. What if I just get Palette a babysitter and the two girlfriends can go out,
Don't you ever get tired of the whole justice thing?
Don't you ever get tired of being Sigma's lapdog?